Good evening, dear listeners. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever received a phone call that changed your life forever? Not just any call, but the kind of call that makes your heart forget how to beat for a second. Well, tonight's story begins with one of such calls. It was exactly 2:17 a.m. The city was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that feels like the world is holding its breath. Amma was asleep when her phone rang. Once, twice, three times. She almost ignored it, but something deep inside her whispered, "Pick it up." And so she did. "Hello," she said, her voice heavy with sleep. There was silence at first, then a soft voice. And a voice she hadn't heard in 7 years. "Amma." Her heart stopped. "Kofi?" Listeners, let me take you back. 7 years ago, Amma and Kofi were inseparable. They met on a crowded trotro one rainy evening. Their eyes met over the sound of thunder, and just like that, something clicked. They laughed easily. They laughed deeply, dreamed wildly, but life has a way of testing even the strongest hearts. Kofi had big dreams, dreams that stretched far beyond their small town. He wanted to travel to build something on his own outside the country, far beyond abroad. While Amma, on the other hand, wanted something simpler, a home, a family, and, forever. And sometimes, love alone is not enough when two hearts are walking in different directions. So one day, without anger, without betrayal, they said goodbye. No promises, no we'll meet again, just silence until that night. So now back to the call. Amma, I didn't know who else to call, Kofi said, his voice shaking. She sat up slowly. Why now? She asked. Not with anger, but with something softer, something fragile. I'm at the airport, he said. I'm leaving, for good this time. Her chest tightened. I thought you already left, she whispered. I did, he said. But I never left you. Listeners, have you ever tried to forget someone who still lives in your heart rent-free? It doesn't work. Not really. Now, Kofi explained everything. The years abroad, the success, the loneliness, everything. He said, all those years, I kept comparing everyone to you, and no one ever came close. Amma closed her eyes because deep down she knew she had tried to move on tried to love someone else, but a part of her had stayed exactly where Kofi left it, frozen in time, just waiting. So why are you calling me now? She asked again, her voice trembling. There was a long pause. Then Kofi said something that changed everything. I don't want to leave again without knowing if we still have a chance. There was silence. The room was heavy, breathing heavily into the phone. There were heartbeats. Listeners, imagine that moment, 7 years of silence, all leading to one question, one decision. Amma stood up, walked to her window, and to check outside. The night was still, but inside her, a storm was rising. Love doesn't always disappear. Sometimes it waits, quietly, patiently, for the right moment to return. Kofi, she said slowly. Yes? Which airport? Now, listeners, here's where the story takes its final turn. Because love, real love, is not just about feelings, it's about courage. The courage to try again, to forgive, to risk everything just one more time. 40 minutes later, Amma was in a taxi, her heart racing faster than the car itself. Driver, please, faster! At the airport, Kofi stood alone, watching people leave, watching doors close, just like they had always done, years ago. Then suddenly, he heard a voice. Kofi? He turned. And there she was, out of breath, eyes shining. Not perfect, not unchanged, but real, and still his. They didn't speak at first. They didn't need to. Some love stories don't need words, just presence, just truth, just a second chance. And as dawn began to break, Kofi smiled and asked softly, "So, what now?" Amma took his hand and said the simplest yet bravest words of all. "Now, we don't let go." Dear listeners, sometimes love doesn't come once. Sometimes it comes back, stronger, wiser, and worth the wait. And if your phone ever rings at 2:17 a.m., maybe, just maybe, you should answer it. Good night.